All right, hello and welcome to this episode. We're going to talk about 5 tips for handling holiday stress. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Matt Codde, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker and the creator of the AAA Response. And before we dive in, just real quick, if you could help us out by liking and subscribing, as well as leaving a comment or review on iTunes and Spotify, I would greatly appreciate it as it helps the show. And also, if you're looking for support or help with breaking out of the loop and really taking back control of your life, please click the little link below. You'll be taken over to Restored Minds where you can complete an application and we can really see if working together might be a good fit. So with that said, let's dive into the episode today. So with the holidays coming up, I wanted to create a few episodes to really kind of help us get in the right frame of mind as we move into this period of the year. Because for most of us, there's the reason the song, it's the most wonderful time of the year, right? It's like, it can be a very exciting time. For some of us though, it can be a tough time. And a lot of that has to do with triggers or expectations or just our general overall, it might just be the season of life that we're in. It may have some big transitions, all of that stuff. So I want to talk about stress in the holiday season. So, and I want to really go through 5 tips on at least what I believe are the best ways of really navigating stress during this time of year. So, number one, the first thing is to understand, that stress is caused by our resistance to what is going on. And what I mean by that is stress is not, a lot of people think stress is this thing outside of them. When you see people say, I'm so stressed, or they do stress reduction techniques, stress management. Stress is just the basic cause of stress is resistance. And what I mean by that is just your resistance to things are how they are. So, and I can make the case on this on, the idea of like loud music, right? When you're listening to music and getting ready to go out for the evening, you might listen to a certain song you love, blare it at the top volume, dance around your room, all this stuff. And then 6 hours later, when you're sleeping and same song comes on, same volume, everything, you're now stressed about its presence where before you weren't. And it's not the song that causes stress, but our resistance to something. Now, same thing with the holidays. A lot of times it's not the holidays themselves are not stressful, right? And so even stating that belief, I'd encourage you to let go of it, because holidays in and of themselves are just that, they're holidays. And what happens is we put a lot of internal pressure and beliefs around the holidays that I believe make them stressful for a lot of people. And so the first tip is just really understanding that holidays are not stressful. It's our resistance to a lot of the stuff that's going on that's actually the cause of our stress in our life. And then number 2 is really looking at the word should and how you are using it in your life. And so the word should, as I've stated several times, is really the cause of a lot of our struggle in life, because the word should implies that the world should be different than how it is. This person should be different than how they are. My paycheck should be different than how it is, right? And you might be like, yeah, Matt, all those things are true, right? Bigger paycheck, better looking, whatever it is. But when we think about it, the word should causes us to resist what is. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to just blatantly accept what is and never strive for anything different in life. But to think something should be different right now than how it is our resistance and rejection to life as it is currently, which causes us a lot of stress, because now we're fighting with life. It doesn't mean we can't work to change something and improve something in our life. But when we're in a state of resistance and rejection, so if for instance, if you step on the scale and you're like, I should be 10 pounds lighter than what I am, well, now you're like resisting and rejecting yourself. It doesn't mean you can't work towards that goal and that you can't move towards that in a healthy way, but you can do so without a resistance and rejection toward yourself, and more of a loving and caring way of yourself. Third thing I want to talk about is embracing triggers. Now, a lot of times when you go around the holiday season, you you oftentimes see people that can trigger you. I'm going to use that word. And this can be family, it can be friends, it can be colleagues. It's like you kind of get, a lot of times there's a lot of parties and gatherings and all of that, and you can get triggered. So let's understand what a trigger is. A trigger is an overreaction emotionally to an external event. So if, for instance, if you show up to a party and you see someone's car there that you don't want to see, it's not the person themselves that's actually causing you to feel how you feel, but a lot of stuff that you've buried inside of you that's now surfacing as a result of this specific trigger. So when I say to embrace triggers, what I'm really saying is when you notice a trigger in your life, a lot of times it's a really good opportunity to release a lot of stuff that maybe we're carrying around in our system that we don't need to be carrying anymore. And a lot of times it's intuitively our body knows what to do. It knows how to release it, and it's trying to do so in many ways. So when you get triggered, really look at your opportunity to release as opposed to assuming that whatever it is that triggered you is the actual problem. So that's a third tip. Fourth tip is really to stop comparing yourself to the past or anyone in your environment presently. So I think another big tip or another big cause of stress is our comparison, right? And that can be to trying to recreate holidays in the past because you really liked that. So you want it to be like that again. So this is why people will maintain certain traditions that really they probably should have let go of, and being open to the idea of new ideas and stuff, but they are trying to recreate the events where they felt a really positive experience instead of realizing this is a whole new year, whole new people, everyone's at different phases of their life. And instead of comparing and trying to force things or comparing the present moment to the past, or comparing yourself with other people in your neighborhood. So this is the keeping up with the Joneses idea of, you notice that the neighbors decorated their house to the nines this year, and you're like, well, we're gonna outdo them, right? Or it's like we're getting a chance to host the meal this year for whatever it is, and it's like we're gonna do it better than anyone else. Let go of the comparison, because that's going to cause stress. If you're trying to recreate the past or be better than other people in the present, or letting other people feel like you're less than them because you're doing things differently, your belief around those ideas are the cause of your resistance, which is the cause of stress, right? So it's about, again, understanding what causes stress. And then finally, number 5 is the idea of letting go of expectations. So an expectation is really this idea of I expect that things need to fall in this particular order or line or whatever it is. Things need to go this way. When you do that and then things don't go that way, you're going to have a lot of resistance, right? If you think that on Christmas it's supposed to snow and you live in Southern California, you're not gonna like Christmas. It's not because anything's wrong with Christmas or anything's wrong with the weather. It's your expectation, the idea that I expect this to happen and it didn't happen, that is going to cause that conflict. And so when we're talking about handling stress, I know you may have thought this episode was going to be a lot about, hey, how do I, tell people off the right way, or this and this and that, or whatever it is. How do I deep breathe and all that? A lot of that is really not what we're talking about. When we're talking, that's managing the symptoms of stress. When we're talking about handling stress at a really root level, what we're really talking about is working through our belief structures and our buried emotion in our system as it is. And by understanding, again, what causes stress is resistance, understanding where the word should is in your life, embracing the triggers that happen as opportunities to release, and then ultimately by stopping comparing and letting go of expectations, all of that is going to bring you into the holidays a much, much better version of yourself, because you're not going to be as clinging to certain ideas and expectations, and you're really going to be able to just kind of go with the flow of things that are already unfolding. So I really hope this was helpful. Hope you take this to heart. Hope this serves you. And with that, as always, if you need help and are looking for guidance on really breaking out of the OCD and anxiety loop, and you're looking for that guidance on that journey, head over to Restored Minds, check us out, and fill out an application. So, wishing you guys a great day, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Hey there. So if you enjoyed that video, we've linked up a few more videos that we think you'd find helpful as well. And if you have found this helpful, we'd really appreciate your support by liking and subscribing. And if you're looking for help and guidance, please check out restoredminds.com, as we have several options for you to get started. See you guys soon.